Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 horror thriller The Stalker, a film that is directed by John Giorgio and it stars Jimmy Ace Lewis, Tony Fromin, J. Gavin Wilde, Matthew Ewald, Cody Howard, Chad Ayers and Virginia Vogt. Now this is a film that focuses on initially there is a guy at a business who ends up firing someone. And he fires him for the wrong reasons, basically, for no reason, because he needs his salary, because his family's in financial difficulties. So the film then shoots forward to 12 months later. The family's being stalked, in particular his wife. An accident takes place, and the family then goes on the run to their country lodge, I suppose you could call it. And from there the stalking continues and becomes even more sinister until the family all become directly in danger. That is kind of what this film is about, I suppose. What is my thoughts on this film? Oh boy, we have a little bit of a stinker here, guys, unfortunately. This film, it tries very hard to be like one of those throwback slashers from like the 80s, and there are elements of it that do kind of work in that sense. What it's trying to aim for, it feels like a B-movie from the 80s to some degree. The soundtrack, you know, the stalking storyline, all that kind of stuff. The trouble with this film is it's just not very good, I suppose. To cut a long story short there, it's woefully predictable. There's some poor performances in it. For a horror, there's zero gore at all. I mean, there are kills take place in this film. You don't see anything. It's like a PG horror for some reason. I don't understand why, if you're going to do a low budget film like this, you try and spice it up with a little bit of gore and a little bit of scares and tense scenes, and there's not really any of that here with this film. It's woefully predictable. And this woman who's being stalked, bless her, I mean, her husband, I mean, he does a despicable thing by firing this guy, you know, and this is what I mean by predictable. He fires this guy for no reason, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, she's getting stalked for a year. Ooh, who could it be? And these people are not good people, because he fired him for no reason. The stalk for a year. Yeah, okay, I get that she's scared, and then she runs outside and shoots an innocent bystander, basically, that she thinks is the stalker. And what would you do at that point? Ring the police and say, oh my goodness, I've made a terrible error? No. They decide they're going to bury that body and hide that evidence. And you're like, what is going on? There's so many poor decisions taken in this film consistently throughout it. You know, they're being stalked by this killer, and they constantly leave the kids alone. There's obvious red herrings thrown at you in this film, and then when you actually meet the person who turns out to be the killer, you might as well have just been wearing a sign saying, I'm the killer. The red herrings were pointless. It didn't do anything for the film because they clearly weren't. They were so obviously red herrings. I mean, if you're going to do a red herring in a film like this, make it so that you're thinking to yourself, I'm not sure which it is, and then you can slowly narrow it down and do a little bit of investigating as you're watching. This film doesn't allow you to do that, because the red herrings they throw at you are so obviously not the killer that when you do meet the killer, he's just like you say, he should be wearing a big sandwich board saying, hello, it's me, I'm the killer. And the son is clearly the smartest one of the family, because when they do meet this killer and he's questioning the family, he's asking this killer all these intelligent questions. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's yeah. There's so much wrong with this film. I could go even deeper, but I've already said too much in regard to spoilers, I suppose. and I don't want to completely ruin it if you do decide to watch this film, but what I would say is don't watch this film. It's not worth your time. It's only about an hour long. Like I say, for a horror, it's very tame. There's deaths in this film, but like I say, the deaths are really predictable. There's no gore at all. There's very little tension building. Red herrings are ridiculous, and there's, like I say, there's just another example. You know, when she fires a gun in the street right at the beginning of the film, nobody comes out to check, and this is like a suburban neighbourhood. It's not as if there's nobody around, and nobody comes to check what that gunshot was. So they're free and clear to put this body in the boot of the car. I mean, there's too many things wrong with this film to take it seriously in any way, shape or form. I'm down for watching a stalking film, a well-made stalking film. This isn't it, and there's an opportunity, even with a low budget, to make an effective, tension-filled stalking film. And this certainly isn't it. So I can't give it anything more than a 3 out of 10. There's very little to recommend here. It's pretty woeful for the most part. So yeah, that's my review for The Stalker. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will see you for more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.